Welcome to ATP Customs. Well, today I got a special treat for you bike guys. This is my brother's 2020 KTM 500 street legal enduro, and we have to take it for a test spin. I worked in the motorcycle industry for over 10 years. Started out sweeping floors, emptying garbage cans, and I worked my way up to parts and service manager. I've ridden over 1,000 bikes easily. I can't even count. I've ridden thousands of motorcycles, ATVs, snowmobiles, you name it. My job eventually was to test ride motorcycles. So when the mechanic was done, they would hand me the bike and I would have to go and basically ride it into the ground and make sure that nothing was going to break, because we worked on a lot of race bikes. I got to run the race team out of Suzuki, and we sponsored 27 racers. So that is my history. I literally did 7 days a week for over 10 years in the motorcycle industry. It was very exciting, but now I haven't ridden for over 6 years. The last thing I rode was my Ninja 1200. I haven't ridden an enduro since I did hare scrambles in Williams Lake, and that is probably over 20 years ago, almost, maybe 15 years ago. So yeah, today I have to learn how to ride again. See if I can even hold this thing up still. I have not been on a bike in over 6 years. And to go from sport bikes to an enduro is going to be a little awkward, being it's so tall and skinny tires. My history was more focused on stunting and wheelies and all that kind of stuff, as opposed to dirt biking. My oldest brother is an absolute dirt bike freak. He has the KTM 456 day, which we will bring in, and I'll take that for a spin another day. But the purpose of this is we want to go test riding and test driving with some of the local companies we're friends with. I do have a friend who owns a dealership in Salmon Arm. Those guys do Articat, Kawasaki, and Suzuki. And we would like to work with them and see if I can talk them into letting me test drive their stuff. So that's the purpose of this. I have to go and learn how to ride again so that I can do reviews and test ride bikes again. So this isn't going to be a how great is this bike. This is going to be a guy who hasn't ridden in over 6 years, who's creeping up on his 50-year mark there. Is this a decent bike to put around town as a daily? So today I'm not heading for the hills and going on the gravel. We're just going to go for a spin around town and see what this thing is like. that wasn't bad for my warm-up. I guess I still got it a little bit. So you guys will be seeing more of these silly little test rides I'm going to be doing on bikes. I got a few lined up that I want to try out. And we'll be bringing this one back in once I'm warmed up. And I'll actually do a proper review on what I like and don't like about this bike. Things like, you know, that drives me nuts. Why is that so flimsy? But we're actually going to do a review on this the next time it comes in. I can grab this thing anytime I want because it's my brother's. And we'll do another feature as I get warmed up. That was more of a little just getting me warmed up so that we can go and bug my friends for sponsorship so that we can go test riding now. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe.